Hey, Code and family, it's Brad Bowling again, and I'm talking to Larese Purnell and Danielle Sydnor from the Taste of Black Cleveland. It's a fantastic event that they do every year, and we wanted to talk a little bit about it because it's just grown into such a wonderful event. So, guys, welcome to the Code and Podcast.
Thank you for having us, Brad. We're glad to be
Yes,
here with you today.
yes, man. I've been wanting to have you guys on for a while because the event. I remember your first one. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Cleveland, we just do a fantastic job getting out the house, having events, hosting events. How did you two dream this concept up?
So I could start. The original iteration of this event really started as a private invite only luncheon as a response to some work that I was doing with as I was the president of the NAACP, actually chair of the Economic Development Committee at the time. And we were having conversations with the Cavs about a variety of things. And one of them was what it looked like to have more opportunity for Black owned businesses inside of the arena. And I reached out to Larese because, of course, we all know that you're trying to get a hold of Black businesses, you might as well just call Larese. And I appreciated Larese's response. He's like, I don't want to just give you a list of names. I want to partner and I want to work together. And so that just small invite only 75, attendee private lunch has now blossomed into this sold out event that is now in its 8th year.
That's fantastic, Danielle. And it's wonderful because you get a chance to interface with other people. The Cavs are involved because I know you do it at the Rocket Arena every year. Um, and then you've included some winners of different categories. Talk to me about the different categories.
So before I say that, I'll be remiss because sometimes we tend to minimize success.
Okay.
Um, and the reality is, you heard Danielle say we started at 75 private invites now to being on the floor. Me and Danielle, we always emphasize that we're on the floor of an NBA arena, hosting, our community and creating a cultural experience that's unforgettable. Every year we do it, for the last 3 years we've been on that floor. It's still mind blowing when I walk down the stairs and I see our businesses, I see our community, over 1,200 people now in the building. And like Danielle said, this event sells out every year for us. So I just want to make sure that I inserted that because, again, it's grown. And because of that, Brad, it's very important that we also don't minimize that over 200, Black owned restaurants have had the opportunity now to have their product, they're displayed, advertised and marketed through our, this event that we've been able to cultivate. So again, I just want to give that context so everybody out there listening understands the impact and why your support is so important as we continue to elevate this experience. So Danielle, let you talk about the cuisine and all the greatness of it.
Yeah.
Well, let me speak to that for a second because this is the reason I wanted to have you two on the podcast because support is support, right? And we, Code M, we wanted to throw you support and at least bring attention to this, guys, because I don't know if this is being done in other cities. And this is the beautiful thing about where we live is that we get to have such powerful events like this. And I remember at its inception, when we were out, I'm saying we like I'm a part of it, but I remember when we would walk around outside of the arena, right? In the hallways, and you would have the event there. It's grown into the middle of the floor on the basketball court. That just speaks to the volume of the people. And Danielle, you are correct. If you're going to have something, you might as well call Larese because he seems to have the entire Northeast Ohio somehow on speed dial. So
No.
if you're going to have something, you might as well get him involved. And I'm joking with that, but I mean, it's a fantastic event. It's grown into such a wonderful thing that we can all be blessed to be a part of. And again, I know you guys have thrown in categories and awards and this and that, and the news covers it. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Speak to, some of the festivities.
Yeah, so I mean the again from the birth of the event all the way to what you see now, it's always been centered around displaying the culinary variety that we have in our community. We're not a monolith. Everybody is not making fried food. Everybody is not eating soul rolls. We have all the way from vegan categories, desserts. We've even had mixologists at different points in time in the competition. But what we really are trying to do is have a fun night. We say it's for bragging rights. When you win one of the categories of a Taste of Black Cleveland, you get to be the reigning champ for that year. But the camaraderie that we see built amongst the restaurateurs, I think, is one of the most amazing parts of this. So we do have 5 categories of winners. We have full service restaurants, we have takeout only restaurants, we have food trucks, we have desserts, and we have vegan. And we really added the vegan category because we had a fair number of participants that were participating in the overall event. And then we had some that were like, well, it's not fair for them to be up against a full service restaurant. And so it made sense to kind of create its own category. And we know a number of people have tried vegan food for the first time, for being at the event. And so we're really proud of that.
So Danielle, I'm listening to you talk about some of the vendors that are there. And it sounds like you have everybody from mom cooking out her oven to a full-fledged restaurant. Is that the case?
Yeah, so we do have a process of ensuring that the business is registered with the state of Ohio, that they are, actually operating and functioning, because we want to highlight businesses that folks can go back and support after the event. The goal is not to just have a beautiful event one night, but it's to amplify these businesses, to put them on display. And so we need to know that you're going to be open on Monday if you say you're going to be open on Monday. And so we do a vetting process to make sure of that. But yes, we have people who are just starting out, their first concept, to those that have been in business multiple years. And in our application process, the last 2 years, we've actually started to ask that question, how long you've been in business, so we can see the variety of, folks that are been around 1 or 2 years. And then we come back later and see them go from maybe food truck only to having a food truck and a brick and mortar in a couple of cases of folks that we've worked with.
That is fantastic. Larese, anything to add?
No, one other thing, and you kind of talked about, Danielle talked about calling me, and sometimes we don't emphasize this on our interviews together, but one of the greatest experience I get the opportunity to be a part of is working with my partner, Danielle, who's just a powerful, Black woman here in this community, that is about the work. So even, we just shot our videos and put those on social. And sometimes we, don't celebrate each other. We don't hold each other's ladder the way we need to. And just being able to hold each other's ladder throughout this process and really elevate, the work that each other does is just really impactful, just the power of partnership. When you come together, the capacity that, adds and the success it adds. And again, just, every time I hear her talking, and just really lay out the vision and just, what she has in her heart is really important. And, I just think that everybody out there listening, because we just talked about that, in an interview we, did together a few weeks back about the power of partnership, and we minimize that in our community. So just wanted to make sure I inserted that as well.
No, bro, this is the platform to do it. And Danielle, the funny thing is I know you, but I don't know you. I know we're in the same room. We doing like this, but she's over there. I'm over here. So I've seen her. I think I saw her in DC come out of elevator at the CBC. And I'm like, okay, I think that's Danielle. But I don't know you. So let's go into that a little bit. So Danielle, I know that you're from Cleveland. I know that you've done some incredible things. What are you doing now?
So I'm currently leading the President's Council, and the President's Council is the engine for Black business growth in Northeast Ohio. We're a family of 4 organizations: a traditional business chamber, a nonprofit organization that raises dollars to support entrepreneurs. We have an investment group that invests in real estate projects and operating companies, and a political action committee. But my background is in finance, and I grew up in a household of entrepreneurs. So I just really saw what it means for people to believe in Black businesses, to support them, to uplift them, and to amplify them. And I've never lost sight of that because I watched how hard my mom and dad worked to create the businesses that they had in our household. And then I had opportunity to go into corporate America and saw the structure and organization and all the things that I didn't know existed from being in a household, of entrepreneurs. And so I've really tried to marry those things together in the work that I do, and really found a path to do that through customer service, but through community service. When I became active in the NAACP, that really led me on the path to be able to use that platform to amplify these kinds of opportunities, and then ultimately recognize that some of those need a little bit more shoulder to the plow than you can kind of get just out of the nonprofit. And so again, Larese and I started an organization together to allow us to bring in additional resources to make sure that this doesn't turn into a pet project, but that it can actually have the impact that the community really needs.
That is beautiful. Beautiful. Now, Larese, I'm going to assume everybody knows who you are, but for those who don't, go into a little bit about your background as well, sir.
Yeah. So right now, I'm one of the managing partners and co-founders of CLE Consulting Firm. We're an accounting, tax, and payroll services firm located right there in downtown Cleveland. Have started an organization over it's going on 12 years now called the Real Black Friday. Where we created that organization to bring access, create opportunities, and we've done some of the largest expos in the last decade right here in our community that help to amplify, Black owned businesses throughout Northeastern Ohio. And just like Danielle, just have on the other side of it is my parents weren't entrepreneurs. And I always say, if you know me personally, if my father walked in the room, I don't know, even I've never met him before, so I don't know what he looks like. So I grew up with, dealing with financial challenges, being displaced a lot. But it was Black entrepreneurs in our community in the Kinsman Southeast side of Cleveland were the ones that actually saved my life because they kept me off the street. That's Parker's Barbershop on 143rd, where they would let me sweep the floor and get that free haircut, because we didn't have the money to do it. Snack Shack, to the McDonald's that was a Black owned, McDonald's right there on the corner there, Save More. I can keep listing, but those are the entrepreneurs that really leaned in. And to this day, we know that they are the backbones to our community, and they really are the ones that uplift our youth to let us see that there is direction that you can go in, that doesn't have to be what your friends are doing. So again, that's where my passion. People always ask me, where's your passion around entrepreneurship? Because those people really imparted and embedded something in me that I'll never forget for a lifetime. So again, that's my commitment to entrepreneurship. I get the opportunity locally and nationally to go speak about this passion and just look at different infrastructures that's being built around entrepreneurship in within our communities. And again, just one of those things that I realize it is a life mission, something I'll do until I can't do it anymore. So again, just thank you for that question, and yeah, just excited about working with my partner. And I'm gonna keep emphasizing that, and on every platform I get, because especially as Black men, I'm looking at you in the face right now, Brad.
Let's go.
We have to make sure that we lift up our Black women when we have the opportunity to do that. Because Danielle, and I said, let me preface something I said, that she's a powerful Black woman. Yes, she is, but just not in Black spaces. She's a powerful woman. So again, it excites me just to, be a part of the team and do what we do together.
Yeah, man, I agree. In May, we have our Women of the Year. We had our first Woman of the Year. So I agree with you. It's utterly important that we support each other, that we uplift each other. We speak power into each other, because nobody's coming to save us, guys. And so us three on this podcast today is proof that if you work together, if you do things together, if you talk about each other, this is what it's all. This is literally what Code M was born to do. Bilal Akram, our founder, birthed this and said, listen, we got to find ways to celebrate each other. And that's what we're doing today. I want to go into a little bit of detail because, we're a national magazine. So anybody who wants to attend this, let's kind of go over the nuts and bolts a little bit. So your event is when?
The event is on July the 16th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And
Okay.
It's Rocket Arena.
Okay. And we're going to put a link to how you can either get tickets, attend the event in the podcast, so people can kind of understand where to go, where to get their tickets. And I know you had mentioned that the event itself is held on the floor of where the Cavaliers play. So when you come in, you have access to the room. You come down, will you have a chance to pay for food or taste food?
It's all including your ticket price. So when you pay for your ticket price, now we have two experiences. So everybody out there listening, we do have a VIP experience where our past winners are in the Chairman's Club. If you're familiar with the arena, you go back into that area. There's a bar there. There's, those winners and their cuisine. So, and then with that VIP ticket, you do get one, game ticket to next season's Cavs game for that. But then we also have a general admission that allows you to taste everything that's 20 plus restaurants right there on the floor. So there's no exchange of cash. And please don't come to the door that day and even say you want to give us cash for a ticket, because we will be sold out. So again, grab your ticket now. And I will say, based on the time you're listening, there's different iterations of prices. We have our early bird, our super early bird, then we have our early bird, then we go to general, pricing on that. So make sure you grab those tickets, you share it with, your friends, your family. And I even want to say something, as me and Danielle have been talking more strategically, we would like to, if you are working for a corporation and you're in control of a budget, or have a friend that you would like that is in control of a budget, have them attend the event. Because again, when we talk about support, we just don't want everybody in there just to eat the food that day, because the real impact that we're trying to make as well is beyond the event as well.
Right.
So if your company can hire one of these restaurateurs or these chefs to come in and do cuisine for a staff meeting, for an annual meeting, or whatever the case may be, we would like to have some leadership in the room that can make some decisions around that as well. But again, that's kind of
Yes, yeah, we also have some limited sponsorship opportunities available as well. To Larese's point, that VIP experience you get with the past winners, plus all of the restaurants that are on the floor. So you get more food probably than any one person can eat. But we have some limited sponsorship opportunities available because we are looking for additional ways to make sure we can carry this work forward throughout the year. We have business owners that come to us when they're having challenges, and we want to be able to have ways to direct them to other resources that are available. And that sponsorship dollars, helps us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think we have to throw a little shout out to Kevin Clayton, because I'm hearing you talk about how the Cavs, how involved they are with tickets and the venue itself. How has that relationship been with the organization?
Yeah, again, that relationship started with the NAACP and the Cavs when they came to us around the transformation project, and we put together a set of initiatives all the way back when Lynn Komorowski, was the CEO of the team, really before Kevin Clayton's position was created. And then Nick came in and we continued working with Nick, and then Kevin came in and we started working with Kevin. And so one of the things I appreciate about the team is it has become an institutional initiative for them. So I can really firmly believe that I love all the partners and leaders that are there today, but even when we've had change of leadership, they've stayed committed to this. And a part of that is because Larese and I, kind of require it and demand it. And we ensure that when new folks come in, they understand that this commitment that was made is not a commitment that is easily erasable, that we expect to be able to have this community benefit, because that's really what it is. It's a cultural celebration. And considering how Black of a city we are, how Black of a team that they have, this is really a win-win for both of us to have an event that celebrates our culture inside that building.
Listen, man, it's our own little family reunion, because I remember when I come in there, I'm seeing friends. I'm going to get the black or gold napkin, right? And I'm getting my cup. And I'm going to tell you, Codem viewers, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel. I want to just kind of give a visual for people, because when you come in, there's so many wonderful foods, from a lamb chop to a piece of steak to maybe some brisket, dessert. There's different, juices and punches. I mean, like, there's so many good things that you can get here. And for anybody who's planning maybe an engagement, marriage, you might find your caterer at this event. So, Larese, to your point, I agree with you, because there are people out there who are looking to have a function. They don't know who to get. They want to support community, and they don't want to be ripped off. So they need somebody reputable. Well, this is the place to come and do a little fact finding, and you get to taste food at this event. So this is the perfect time, if you're looking to do something, to do it.
And Brad, to that point, you just gave us an idea. So we were on here to learn as well. So we will be reaching out to a lot of wedding planners after this podcast today, and let them know to have their clients come and do a tasting right at the Taste of Black Cleveland. Never thought of that. So
yes,
thank you for that.
Can I be a third partner? No,
yeah. Listen, we're looking to make it grow. Let's talk about it.
That's right.
Yeah. So for family reunions, guys. My family, I have a huge family, and I know every year we have a caterer because it's just so many of us. But this is a great place to kind of come in and taste cuisine And Danielle, I'm so glad you included a vegan section. Now, for people with allergies, is there like a gluten-free menu, or like how do you handle that?
Yeah, we don't particularly require the restaurants to make any specialty. It is whatever they serve, on
Okay,
the menus. And so we do have some, especially in the vegan section, you'll have some that are also vegan and gluten free. We do have some entrepreneurs that's the way they prepare the food or their menus. But really, it's the same things that you typically could find in their establishment. We do tell them to get creative because it is a competition. And so
yeah.
maybe you pair some things together that you can't traditionally find on the menu to just really make it a more excitable kind of offering. But whatever they're traditionally making is what you're going to.
All right, guys, I got to go into it for a second. Danielle, tell me what your favorite food was last year.
So the funny thing is, I usually barely eat, and I have to always make sure I get food. It's the people are like, "How could you be at a Taste of Black Cleveland and then be hungry afterwards?" I'm like,
Okay,
because we're running around
You're
the whole
working.
time, literally talking to everybody, making sure everything is okay, making sure our guests know, where to go. But what I usually get is feedback from other people, and then I watch the lines. And so
all
I know,
right,
like last year, we had a long line at Black Crab, and people, what they do is they see somebody's food and they're walking around. They're like, "Where'd you get that?" And then you'll see people start to migrate. I
right, right.
see My Belly has had a really good burger. I know that people have raved about. I mean, there's all kinds of everything. The winners usually tell the story, though. Last year we had Zanzibar as our full service restaurant winner. We had Grippies in the food truck category. We had Juicy Vegan. So I mean, we really get a variety every year.
That's outstanding. Larese, what's your favorite meal or
So,
food?
and we're in the same boat. I think I ate one time last year, and we tend not to be because everybody's pulling us in different directions, and we just want to make sure the experience is great for everybody there. So we're focused more on that. But to Danielle's point, those are the lines that we saw that we had to kind of walk around each time was black crab. You had Grippies and a couple of others that had great food. But I think I tasted Grippies, and I think I got it after the event was over. He's like, "Hey, I had something for you," because we just don't get to eat a lot. So again, I know I will say it all smells good. Another thing I'll say that just beyond the cuisine, the experience they try to create because it is like Danielle said, it's competitive. We've had people come in tuxedos. We've had people, they have their televisions, like shout out to Floods. They had their own mic system.
Ascot.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yes.
we had some exciting things that took place there to continue to elevate the experience as
Yeah,
well.
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I know it's food, it's focused around food. It's a good time
Yeah, for sure.
because you get a chance to experience different things. For me personally, yeah, I'm a little bit into the sweets, so I'm going to dessert tables and I'm noticing the cupcakes and the velvet cake and the cheesecake. So for me, I kind of gravitate, and I get the food. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of gravitate towards finding out who has the best desserts.
But Brad, I was
Um,
going to say, you said about the event, one thing that we didn't talk about a lot is we do have entertainment. We have a live band and we have a DJ. We love food and we love music, and we know that about us. And so we try and fill that atmosphere with the same things that you would find if you were at your, family cookout or your family reunion. And so there's a dance floor. We're going to incorporate some new things this year, but we always have, again, live music, full band, and a DJ. So you'll have a good time. Even when you eat, you might need to sit down, relax, let some food digest. There will be some tables and chairs, for that as well. And if you want to move around, get on the dance floor, you got space to do that too.
Yeah, I want to go over parking for a second because I know sometimes people get a little nervous about downtown parking. And with Cosm coming, I know it's changed parking just a little bit. But you guys using Rocket Arena, I know they have two large parking decks that people can use. Can you speak to that for a second? Because you should not anticipate any issues with parking, right?
Yeah, the good thing is usually when we do it, it is on a Thursday night. So
Okay.
of course the Cavs, the person you would be worried about to have a crowd would be the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we're in that arena, so we don't have that 20,000 fans. But there is, and I tell people with downtown Cleveland, people find how to park because there's adjacent parking lots right by the arena. There's about 4 or 5. So if the garage gets full, there are 3 to 4 others right adjacent to the arena, so it's not hard to find. If you go to the app, it actually will show you all the Willard parking lots that are in downtown Cleveland, the locations as well as the cost so then you can manage through your budget as well. So
So
Carpool.
that's right.
absolutely, for real, seriously. So guys, this has grown into such a wonderful event. Are there any discussions to take this on the road? Because you've turned this into, I don't want to insult you by saying a real business, but you've turned this into such a wonderful event, right? Do you see it only being in Cleveland, or do you see kind of taking this to arenas around the country?
I think we could both have probably visions to this. We've got 20 pages of ideas. But what I
Right.
would tell you is there are some, folks that are doing it in other communities. Someone just sent me
Okay.
that's happening
Okay.
in Charlotte, but not everywhere, right? I think there's absolutely room for expansion. What I would love to see here is this turn into a multi-day festival. If we think about some of the other cultural celebrations that happen in the community, the Feast of the Assumption, the Puerto Rican Festival, the Asian Festival, I would love for this to be a multi-day festival where we have a day dedicated to the Real Black Friday, where we're having, the small business vendors pop up, where we have the restaurants, we're bringing in some chefs from around the country. We're talking about what it means to run a successful, thriving, food-based business. We've got some brands coming in to help support our entrepreneurs and really just have a good time centered around food and, music and community.
Wow, that is fantastic, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful day. Please remind everybody again about the date and time of the event.
July 16th. It's on a Thursday from 6 to 10 o'clock. And we are going to be doing an aftertaste that you'll see. Just follow us on social media at Black Collabs and A Taste of Black Cleveland on all platforms. And just stay tuned. So as we put that information out as well, if you miss your ticket for A Taste of Black Cleveland, join us at the aftertaste that we'll have at a local, Black owned business in downtown Cleveland. So again, just go ahead, grab your tickets, invite, coworkers, family, friends. It's a great place to be. And I can guarantee you it'll be an experience that you'll look forward to every year. My wife actually, I was telling her that, I had a podcast this morning. And I said, she's like, man, that's my favorite event of the year. She's like, I look forward to that. And that's my wife. She's like, did we get our tickets? I got to make sure I'm there. So she marks her book off. She gets so excited about that event. So
Yeah, I want to go over one thing real quick. Now, I know you say it sells out. What is the capacity of the event, and what's the sense of urgency to get your tickets? Because I know for a fact it sells out.
1,200 is the
1,200.
capacity based on the fire marshal. So,
Okay.
we wish we could have a lot more, but we could sell a lot more, trust me, based on just the responses, of course, Cleveland, sometimes it's that last week. Everybody thinks about it like, yeah, we're that last minute city sometimes.
Yes, sir.
But the
totally
reality
understand.
is we have to follow, what the expectation and rules and regs are to make sure we stay in compliance. But
Okay. Does anybody want to say the website to go to get tickets?
Yeah, the easiest one is to go to our website, which is just linktr.ee/Black Collabs. And it'll take you right to the link to purchase the ticket.
Okay. And again, we're going to put that link in the body of the bio, of the podcast, so then people can just link and click right through to get their tickets. Man, this has been an incredible conversation. I look forward to talking to you both again. And I'm excited for you. And first, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's nothing like having a plan come to fruition and then watch it birth into something amazing that everybody gets to enjoy. So kudos to you both for doing a fantastic job bringing this event to Northeast Ohio. We really appreciate your efforts because we know how hard it is to organize behind the scenes, to get all your ducks in a row, to have a successful function and event for the community. It's safe, it's fun, it's entertaining, come looking sexy, because the attire's all over the place, from sweats to, suits to whatever you want. It's just that kind of party, man. And I really enjoy going every year. It's one of my favorite events. And so I thank you too. I promised a half an hour, so I'll give you some of your day back. Danielle, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And see you again. Hopefully we get to talk more as we run around the city. Larese, I know you my alpha brother. And so love you, bro.
Yes,
and proud of what you're doing, man. And with that, I will give you the rest of your day back. And so say goodbye to the Codem family.
We'll talk to you, Codem, and congratulations on your success as well.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you all